And we're live, so I really hope. I just took off the Wi-Fi off my phone and I'm figuring it out, right? Because my 4G network does not work that well in this part of the apartment, but my Wi-Fi is a hot mess when it comes to clarity. So you guys let me know if it's glitchy or not, and I want to start talking about this whole intermittent fasting versus keto versus intermittent fasting, or should we do time restricted eating? And I think this is a good subject to talk about. Um, I've listened to Ben Beekman many times, and I know what I like and what I think he needs to learn more about because he's the insulin specialist, physiologist, but I can apply that to actual people and what I see. So I know that what's up, everyone? Oh, I'm coming in loud and clear. Yes, let's do this stuff. Yeah, like up this stream. All right, so let's talk about it. I run a keto course membership group, and I do a lot of experimenting experiments within the group, and it's fantastic to see what's going on. And I mean, we do everything: poop, thyroid, adrenal, rheumatoid arthritis, prostate, skin issues, eczema, shingles, intermittent fasting, carnivore, broccoli in your poop, everything. And it's super fantastic to see what happens, especially trying to understand glucose and insulin and glucagon. So you just got the notification. Awesome. All right. Now, you guys aren't going to lose fat on keto unless you can regulate your insulin. So, without people really understanding any type of science, thank you, Shala. It's been a while. Hi. Who writes, hey, Stephanie, thanks for the help and support you give. Love ya. Yeah, love ya and keep it up. Thank you, Shala. She already donated a tenner to the super chat, so appreciate that. All right. So, most people who do these diets will throw terms around like cleanse, detox, autophagy. Some will say lower insulin when trying to do all these dietary protocols, but let's keep it funky real. Y'all want to lose body fat. As much as you say that you want to be healthy, everything's really driven by the need to lose body fat, which I find quite precarious because I don't care. But as you guys can see, I don't have a body fat issue. But with that said, I am 51 going on 52, so you fight mother time. Now, let's break down the two. So we got the ketogenic camp, which is, oh, you guys are donating. Thank you. The God King Manifest. Thank you so much. Who writes, for keeping it funky real. Thank you. So I'll talk about, somebody talked about not do, here's a great example. I've been doing keto for 2 weeks. Why don't I have an appetite? And that could be excuse me, broken down to a couple of reasons you wouldn't even think. One being a gallbladder issue, two being leaky gut, three eating monofoods and having an aversion for that it takes a while for your body, especially if you're doing long after 2 weeks. Not. All right. So I want to go into the whole dropping fat as I spill water on my foot. That's okay. I'm getting older and shaky. So essentially, if your blood sugar is running crazy, or even if your insulin, you have a hard time to, your beta cells are having a hard time being insulin sensitive, essentially, which is you don't need bolus amounts of insulin to do its job, which is to take sugar out of the blood or proteins and carry it to its destination. Now, when you guys are eating carbs your whole life, standard American diet, the body factory doesn't function properly. And that means that the signaling, the hormones, the signaling and the receptors, the insulin receptors are not working very well. So your body keeps releasing a lot of insulin, and then it's supposed to grab that glucose and put it in the cells for energy or stores fat or whatever. And it just keeps releasing more and more and more, and then it gets so high it just drops your blood sugar too low, and then all of a sudden you go through this whole blood sugar swing, and you've got insulin and glucagon, and they should bring your blood sugar back to baseline. But the problem is y'all are stressing out, so these whole, like, the glucagon um, from the liver, the glucagon and the insulin are not working as in a good partnership. Insulin drives it too low, and glucagon's not bringing it back up, and you guys begin to get fat, essentially. And you'll do a ketogenic diet, and you're expecting, and like when I listen to these experts, I don't, like, do you guys listen to yourself? I mean, it's so anecdotal, it's bizarre. It's like, okay, so if you take out your carbohydrates within a day, you're going to be making ketones and you're going to be in ketosis. But that's not true. And now people are saying, thank you, Alex. Speak up, Alexa, speak up. Who writes, thank you for always keeping it real, everybody. The Facebook group membership is worth every dollar. Sign up for the biz. Thank you so much, Alex. So Alex is on the Keto Course Facebook group. It's really cheap. It's just $15 a month. Well, you know, people are having these crazy, like, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for their courses of the wrong information. Pashao. So I'm gonna move this to the side and go into why people are not dropping fat, or why people do on keto. Would intermittent fasting or time restricted eating be the solution for your fat loss? But we gotta compartmentalize it and break it up and making it digestible for people, so when they listen to the stream it makes sense, and to not get confused with the scientists talking about stuff. So I just found out this missed it. Okay, now in theory, of course, I'm biased, but not really. Keto is the best option, and because keto, you can eat food and still drop your glucose, drop your insulin, and repair the mechanism of insulin resistance. And my version of keto kind of is very, very structured and disciplined to the individual, and kind of gets you to get rid of a lot of bad habits so you can heal your body from the inside out before even being concerned about fat loss, because a lot of you guys have issues. And so you do intermittent fasting or keto diet, or people don't do time restricted eating. Those are like science terms, and they're like waiting. They're like, okay, fat's when it's, and they step on the scale, and they may have lost a few pounds on a scale, but they begin to have crepey skin, dark circles under the eyes. Some people actually have kidney pain. People develop certain types of hypoglycemia. Now, I'm going to go more into this. So when you do things wrong, and most of you guys do, the problem that I find, if you experience, do you have fun with that? There's a fly, you guys, I gotta close my balcony's open, and flies are just like, well, hello, sis. Hold on one sec. I just realized it's open on a beautiful, beautiful day. No flies though. This is the no fly zone. Okay, hold on. Let me see what that said. Let me see here. In your experience, do you find men have harder time starting keto? No. I'm starting to realize it's all about the same. Hi from Vancouver Island. Okay. So keto is, the reason why I love it is because you're not deprived of eating. Not in the sense that you're going to eat all day long, but in the sense of feeling like this one person said on the stream, why am I not hungry? Of course, we have to deconstruct that and figure out if it's a good thing or a bad thing, which a lot of the professionals don't distinguish what is good and what is bad. They just kind of throw everything into one glob of wax. And I mean, no, you can't do that. Now Now, keto puts you in the position of eating a high-fat diet. So the point of eating a high-fat diet is that the more fat you eat, the more potential you have to not only produce ketones, but actually use them. And there is a difference. You can make ketones and have them end up in the urine, and that's a waste. We don't want to waste a single ketone that'll just piss right out of you. We want them to be used. And then, of course, the outcome of using your ketones is sustained energy, so you don't have this up and down thing anymore. Mental clarity, things like your organs healing, your sex hormones healing, your skin undrying out, although some people have a vitamin A deficiency, which is why they tend to have dry eyes on keto, because they're eating the wrong meats. But we'll go more into that. So I'm biased to that because if you are going through depravity and not eating, and you have adrenal problems, you have thyroid problems, you have hypoglycemia problems, you have sleep problems, and you intermittent fast, most people, if not every single person that I have worked with who has intermittent fasted, it's got to at least be 100 people now, have issues from it. No one has had the outcome. No one has come out like, look how freaking muscular I am. Look how lean I am. And look how I've cured myself from all this illness and autoimmunity. And, you know, my skin is nice and tight. And, you know, no one, not a single person. And I've mentioned this before in other streams that people will not tell you, like being an athlete is horrible for your body. Like pushing your body to the limit may be good for the soul and good for the mind, the psyche, but it's not good for the body. And we have to deconstruct and reconstruct ideas. Now, so I'm biased to keto in that context of seeing that I find more people adapting and having all of those issues dealt with, right? With the raynaud's and the tinnitus and the not the gallbladder though. If you have a gallbladder disease, if you don't have a gallbladder disease, you're fine. With heart disease, with their cholesterol levels, their HDL levels improving, with their reproductive hormones improving, like all of these things are amazing that I've witnessed literally people doing keto. I should have put carnivore too on the title, but I forgot. So then we have intermittent fasting. Now, if you're obese, okay, and you're eating a bunch of junk, and you are fasting now, so now you're not eating as much as you used to, because typically people who are eating carbs, and this is not really expressed in this intermittent fasting, you know, YouTube bonanza ridiculousness, but the problem is that eat some carbs, blood sugar spikes too high, then it drops, and you gotta eat again. You gotta eat again. And so you're snacking, and people may not be eating meals all the time, but they're snacking on carby stuff, or they're craving salty foods, or they're craving sweet. Basically, salt and sweet is carbs. And they're having this issue, or they're going the whole day and they're not eating. And when they do eat, they tend to overeat, or they crash. And so that's the roller coaster with people who are eating carbs. So if you do like an intermittent fasting carbohydrate diet, and you have this 6-hour window, or you go from, let's say you go from 6 to 10 or even 2 o'clock in the afternoon the next day of not eating anything, the problem with that is people have a gasoline crisis and an energy crisis. So you have to contextualize the individual doing it, and for what purpose, and how they're doing it, and the foods that they're doing, and then the lifestyle that they have, and then their existing or prior health doing intermittent fasting, because you're going through depravity, you're not eating. So let's say that I'm a 51-year-old woman who is 51, and I'm not this weight, but let's just say that I'm 150 pounds, my body fat is 29. I get up in the morning and I have coffee to get me going. I work all day. I have to cook food for kids or for their family. My husband comes home from work late, so I wait for him. And then, you know, we're just kind of, I put the kids to bed, but I'm up even later because it's the only time I have for myself. And then I kind of want to troll on the internet or binge watch some TV. And let's just say I stop eating around 6. And then I go and I stay awake until let's say stay awake until between like 11 and let's say 12:30 at night, right? So I'm up until those hours and I'm still up expending energy. And the body's not in ketosis, and the glycogen storages are depleted in the muscle. That leaves liver glycogen. And I'm still doing stuff. I'm still like taking showers and washing dishes. And so the body is like, I'm kind of like need some gasoline to drive this car, but you don't, because you're gonna be intermittent fasting because you want to drop all this weight and think you think you are going to preserve the muscle. So you kind of wake up around 2. Some people wake up at 1, but like 2, 3 a.m. you wake up, you're hypoglycemic, don't even know it, right? Because your blood sugar drops too low, and it wakes you up because we have a powerful hormone. I forgot. I think it was called ADK or H or something like that. And this hormone should block the sensation of pee unless you're drinking gallons of water right before bed. And you wake up because your blood sugar got too low, but you don't recognize it as such. You know, you go, I'm gonna go get up and pee, and you go back to sleep. And some people go back to sleep and some don't, but people typically are not dreaming as much as they should be, especially on fasting. The early stage, I'm trying. Yes, I will go into that, but you guys know I'm kind of explaining this, and people on the replay have a thought. So, and not that I am a thought, but I'm just saying. So with that said, you guys wake up in the middle of the night. You don't dream that much. You're not getting into deep sleep. But you know, the intermittent fasting people, they're not talking about that. And how many people are doing insulin tests, and how many companies actually test insulin, and how many countries test insulin? Not that many. So we have a lot of subjective, you know, people having this placebo effect, wanting to believe that intermittent fasting is doing some type of benefit. They feel like they're cleansing themselves, and it's, you know, I listen to my body and I'm like, well, I'm looking at you right now. I'm going to go into this. There's a guy I met at the gym today, and this is the reason why I'm doing the stream, is because he was fasting. He was eating 1 meal a day. He looked like absolute garbage. He looked so bad. And I was just biting my tongue. I was like, don't say anything, Stephanie. Just let him talk about eating his 1 meal a day. And I'm sitting here doing more pull-ups than him, straight bar, and I'm older. And I'm like, how's that 1 meal a day going, bro? You look freaking tired as frack. But I digress. So you get up, you don't eat, you're tired, but you say that you're not tired, because I've done thousands of these consultations where people say that they're not tired when they wake up. But then I catch them saying that they're tired. I'm like, but you said you weren't tired. No. And then they start to recalibrate and try to explain, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then you finally eat, but you're still feeling kind of fat, so you don't eat that much. And then when you finally do eat, you're eating too much. Now, these are different hypoglycemia. Now, I don't mean hypoglycemia that's in the 40 milligrams per deciliter. That's considered disease beyond repair. But I've seen people with the shakes and nausea, which is a sign of hypoglycemia, with glucose in the 60s. With that said, we've got time restrictive feeding, which I would suggest more is the example of what you could do once you're fully adapted. Energy, yes. Now, we are modern humans, meaning we don't live outside. I tried to explain this to this guy today, but like he wasn't listening because it wasn't fitting his narrative. And I notice with people, if I say stuff that doesn't fit, they're aligned with like their freaking boxed thinking. They don't listen to anything else, not even as a fun discussion, just to compare different types of whatever. If you're a freaking eating a Mediterranean diet or a vegan diet or anything, just to be open to hear, like people just get stuck. But with that said, the idea of adapting and knowing that you have adapted because you have been tracking and monitoring not only your insulin, not only your glucose or A1C, but your symptoms over time, right? And all of these issues repair. You follow circadian rhythm, your gut health is amazing, your poop just goes to the bottom, like boom, mic drop poop to the bottom of the toilet, because that's what you want. We don't want floating stool. Mental cognition on point, energy on point, and you're adapted. And you're like, okay, where is the line between how much fat that I should consume? Because fat helps ketone production. That's why it's a high fat diet. When can I start dropping that fat to begin to access more of the restaurant here? Because we have restaurant. This is men, but women, we got restaurant. Here we got restaurants. Here we got restaurants all the way, and we got restaurants there. So when can I start dropping that fat? So I would not call that intermittent fasting, because what I prefer once people are adapted is to get up to a breakfast, get that cortisol rhythm going, because that's what happens when you eat. Eating takes a lot of digestive enzymes and peristalsis, and now we're going to get that cortisol rhythm back on in the right order, which is why you eat a breakfast. Not only that, you're putting gasoline in the tank, and that's telling the midbrain, hey, she's not starving, Steph's not starving, so we don't have to be extra, right? We don't have to be extra with the adrenal, adrenaline and adrenal production, adrenaline, norepinephrine, and cortisol. We don't have to overdo anything. We could just be chilling, cruising through the day. And then you would potentially have like a fatty tea, which really isn't a fast, but let's say if you didn't have any fat, and you would go the brunt of your day not eating, and then you would have a dinner because you started with a breakfast. Now, ultimately, it would be amazing if you guys can get up and eat and then digest and become fasted by the time you work out. Now, I'm able to do that, luckily, with my schedule. That would be optimal. That would be time-restricted feeding, because you're breaking the fast, but then you're going through a window. You can go through your 6-hour window in the day. But with that said, you guys are asking, like, every question is not about the title. That's bizarre. Okay, I'm going to go into all the leaky gut and all this kind of stuff. So my take is that you're going to have a better reaction to regulate and become insulin sensitive, which is being able to burn that body fat through ketogenesis rather than to be keto adapted, rather than trying to just fast. And if you try to do keto and intermittent fast, the fasting cancels out the ability to adapt, because you have to eat a high fat diet. And if you're not eating enough fat, you don't want to sit and eat all of your food in one meal. That's way too gnarly for your digestive tract. And a lot of you guys have low stomach acid. So if you're going to shove a bunch of food down your gullet, and then you guys have leaky gut, and you've got gallbladder, and then what, you're going to have 200 grams of fat in a meal? No, it doesn't work. Sorry. So the best for getting to that fat is to do a ketogenic protocol the right way. And don't think that you're adapted in 6 weeks, and get off the stupid coffee and the nuts that phytates and the cheese and the refeeding on alcohol and eating carbs every 10 days and all this stupid garbage, and testing your blood sugar, check your A1C before you start keto, check your insulin if you can, to know what's going on with the stability of your insulin. Insulin is everything. If your blood sugar is high and your insulin is high, or you're hypoglycemic, you're not going to lose any weight on keto. So forget about it. I don't care what your macros are. You're not going to. It's not going to happen. Done. No. So figure out what that is before you start. Okay? Intermittent fasting, if you're not adapted, where's your body going to get that energy from? You think it's just going to go, I'm just going to burn fat and keep the muscle? You are tripping. You're in denial. And then when I say that, people go, but autophagy. You're not going to experience autophagy if your body is inflamed because you're catabolic. You're not going to have catabolism and autophagy, and they don't even know how to measure autophagy at this juncture. So if you're having adrenal issues and your hair's falling out because your thyroid's falling out because you're fasting, you're not going to experience autophagy. It's not going to happen. So you guys need to understand these concepts more clearly. Why am I not losing weight? Why am I not losing weight? I fasted for 6 months and I didn't lose any weight. And I'm like, better go check out your thyroid now, honey. And if you're going to check your thyroid, you might as well go check out your leptin, because you got it both. You gutted both. Now, I'm going to go to your guys' concerns and questions and bounce, because I think after this, I'm going to do an Instagram stream, because I haven't been there for a while. So, and Auntie Val says, like up the stream, you guys, or like it up. So what you got to do is just hit the X in the corner, the right corner. It'll collapse the chat window, and then you'll see these icons, and one will be a thumbs up, and you hit it, then you hit the chat box icon, and it'll reopen the chat. because my mod must be busy. Because it helps bring the way the YouTube algorithms work, bring people to this channel. And because people are like, if you go to the popular YouTubers that have like 2 million subscribers who talk about keto and intermittent fasting, they're not going to tell you the truth. So either drink the Kool-Aid or drink the water and electrolytes. I'm the water and the electrolytes. Okay, I'm going to go and take your guys' concerns and questions and bounce out of here. Okay, let's see here. We got a lot of comments. People hate having their beliefs challenged so much they don't listen when you try to have a discussion. Right, Keishel? This is the common theme I noticed in today's time. So me being at 51, and I'm like, it wasn't this bad when I was younger. Like, people won't listen. If it doesn't fit their narrative, and it doesn't fit what they want, like, they won't listen. It behooves me, especially in person. And I don't mean my last name. Okay, it's getting fuzzy. Okay, let's see. I have friends that can't give up coffee. No cheese. See, and this is another thing. What is it? Tiana Knight? Like, what are people thinking? Yes, cheese has casein. Casein destroys the gut wall. People have digestive issues from it. They can't take a dump. People have allergies from it. And most likely, Tiana, you're not eating raw A2 cheese, right? You're having commercial cheese, and you're going, oh, but at least it's organic. And I'm like, but it's still pumped. It's still fed corn and soy and all this ridiculousness. Okay, let's go more into this here. Keep taking me out of intermittent fasting mindset. I am in denial signs. Yeah. Say black dog, too full. People are just, everybody's done it now. Like before, you guys know I've been online forever. I've been on the internet forever and forever talking about keto. And you can see the waves, right? First, nobody knew about keto. And then everybody knows about keto. And then they all eat cheese, nuts, and caffeine and junk and eat like xylitol and sugar alcohols and refeed. And then they jump over to intermittent fasting. And now that's the craze. And it's just like Atkins. And then I stepped on a scale and I lost weight, but I gained it all back and I'm even fatter. And my hormones don't work and my period hasn't started and I have hot flashes. But people don't like to talk about this because it's hard to make money off of a subject that you're saying has issues. Okay, Eddie, but yay, stuff's on. Let's see here. We love stuff. Thank you, Keishel. Let me see here. I don't try to do intermittent fasting, just happens that way due to my appetite. Well, you need to check your appetite, Angie, because it's messing you up. I eat let me see. I eat 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Is that just my hunger schedule? No, Angie, that's called a modern human, your body's fracked up schedule. There's a reason why people say don't eat after 6 because it takes a lot of equipment to digest food. And if you're eating late at night, it's very hard. That food putrefies in your stomach. When the sun goes down, so does digestion. So when people are like, I just do what my body tells me to do. And I'm like, well, if you look at these people, they don't look healthy. You guys stop. This is what I'm saying. Don't listen to whatever ideology that you want because it suits you not to eat, right? Well, I don't eat between 11 and 7. 7? Then what about before that? So do you eat breakfast? No. Do you drink coffee? Do you have a muffin? Like, All right, here we go. How do we test for allergies for avocado? You pretty much know it by how you feel. How do you reduce neuropathy symptoms with keto? Like what, Chase? Tell me. What are your symptoms? When I see everyone new talking about keto, I don't even bother reading it. I know. Now it's like, anyone today talking about keto, like, bye, girl. Bye, boy. Bye. Like, you late on the trend. And I was years before it even blew up. Is working out key to the key? Yes, working out is very key. So my fingers. How do you build muscle on keto? Okay, so let me hit some of these. Is it normal to gain a bit of weight in the beginning? Eddie, so weight gain can be water. It can be, your electrolytes could be off. Your potassium could be off. So you're swelling with water. It could be the fact that your insulin's fracked up. So that's that. Avocado allergies, normally people kind of don't like it. They get thick in the throat, they get a stomach ache, itchy, mucus buildup, sneezing, allergy symptoms. That's people having an issue with the latex part of the tree that people tend to have like histamine issues with. And if you are having a problem with avocado, you might have a problem with another food. Let's see here. When I see everyone new talk, okay, we read that. Is working out? Yes. Can I build muscle on keto? So building muscle on keto is about being insulin sensitive. You have to adapt, right? You have to adapt. It's hard to build muscle on keto when you're in the first stages of trying to teach your body to go off of using glucose as its primary source of fuel and switching over to more ketogenic based fuel. Now, when you are ketotic, your blood sugar will always shoot up at some point, like a woman on her cycle. The blood sugar shoots up. It does wonky stuff. It can go up into the 90s. Now, people really get confused, like if you're in ketosis, like these stupid terms, that just drive me nuts. Just because you produce ketones doesn't mean you're using them. So saying that you're in ketosis is absolutely värdelös in Swedish, which means worthless. I mean, worthless. So that's why it's very interesting to know what your insulin is. It's very interesting to know what your symptoms are. And it's very interesting to know what your A1C is and your blood sugar, because your blood sugar will be in alignment with how you feel. If your blood sugar is all over the place and you have energy crisis, you're not in ketosis. I don't even care if you test your blood glucose, ketones, and you got a 2.5, doesn't matter. That stuff ends up in the toilet. Don't believe me, use a urine strip and watch it turn purple. Purple means you're losing ketones. So building on muscle on keto is to adapt, and it takes time. And once you're adapted, you become insulin sensitive. That means you only need a little bit of insulin to do a big job. Insulin, when you have insulin sensitivity, it can take amino acids from the protein that you eat and build muscle. And this body is a ketotic body. I have not refed. There's a big, huge controversy about if you can do keto over the long term. And I'm one person who has done it the entire time. So I can tell you what happens. And the biggest problem isn't like, can I balance my hormones? Duh, 51, natty, full natty. Can I burn fat? Duh. But there's a burning fat plays a lot of different roles. But the worst and the most problematic thing with doing keto and remaining ketotic over time, because in nature we wouldn't be 100% ketotic. We'd have some honey and things of this nature, some figs or something in the wild, is your minding your electrolytes. That is critical to doing keto over years and years and years. Other than that, it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, the whole carnivore thing, you must do keto carnivore because you will hit a wall with the lack of nutrients, especially minerals. You're not going to get enough of that just from red meat. You might have to, and you need fat if you want to produce ketones. So you really need that fat, because people who've got issues with their uric acid and their purines, they've got issues with their kidneys, they're eating the wrong types of meats doing carnivore, and their electrolytes and their minerals are just really off, and they don't like organ meat. You're not going to fare very well eating too much muscle meat on a carnivore diet. So to me, the best diet is keto or keto carnivore for those who've got issues with their leaky gut. Now, I think people are asking questions about leaky gut. I'll go more into that. Let me see. I got to go back. How do you find you have leaky gut or liver issues? Obese tend to have a fatty liver, which means if your liver enzymes are up and your liver is not filtrating properly, it's probably most likely harder to get into ketosis. But the irony is that potentially that ketosis can help with the unfatten that liver. It's crazy, but we're still learning. The leaky gut, blam. Leaky gut's very interesting, coming from poisons and toxins and chemicals and dyes and whatever chemicals. But really, and heavy metals and lead and cadmium and all this horrible stuff. Oh, and yeah, pesticides like glyphosate. But really, it's those plants. Those plants like to just drive holes into your small intestine or create some type of inflammation in the lower GI tract, if not the upper. And it's so amazing that following a Stephanie ketogenic protocol helps a lot of people with their leaky gut and leaky gut symptoms. But really, it's keto carnivore that's really going to expedite the process. But you must do keto carnivore a certain way, because if keto has its difficulties and challenges with the thyroid and adrenal and hormonal system and electrolyte, carnivore is even worse. So it must be a keto carnivore strategy. Okay, how do I know if leaky gut versus other problems? Andrew, that's not a clear question. I don't know what the other problems are. And you guys have to realize, like, your questions have to be clear as frack, or else I can't answer it. So leaky gut versus what? Cancer? I don't know. Let me see. Keto poop doesn't smell as bad. Nope. Nope. So hopefully you are balancing the gut flora. You are pooping every day. You're getting out all that plaque up your butt. And you're having organ meats, right? So we want to get rid of those calcium deposits by eating foods like liver that are high in K2. Let me see, how do you do a keto carnivore? Okay, so Angie, keto is a high fat, low carbohydrate diet, which is high fat. I always say 200 grams or higher. You guys have to make sure that you don't have a gallbladder issue eating that much fat. Also, let me see here. You would only add to where you have things like food in your poo-poo, pale stool, yellow stool, greasy stool, allergies, inflammation, bloatedness, IBS. That would drive you Crohn's, diverticulitis, any type of itis. That would drive you to go do keto carnivore, which is to cut out all the plants, all of it. But making it keto would be keeping your fats high. If you have histamine intolerance and you're doing keto carnivore for that reason, you're gonna have to rotate the meats and the meat fat so much so the gut can heal, and make sure that you get foods like kidney so you can develop more diamine oxidase, which is an enzyme to help you break down it's a enzyme that helps break down the histamine so you can heal, right? Not be inflamed every time you eat a certain food or eat a salad and you're like, ugh. Yep, what is it? TMI, large solid poop sinkers. That's not TMI. Like, yo, like it is what it is. With the Romans used to poop right next to each other. So it's all good. I can't eat unlimited leafy greens on keto. Is one avocado a day enough fat intake? Huh? Leafy greens don't have fat. An avocado is not enough fat. If you eat an avocado a day and that's it, you're going to probably develop like thyroid problems if you're a woman. You have to eat 200 grams of fat, so that would be beef fat, which is tallow, or butter if you don't have a histamine issue with the protein in the butter, which is very little, way less than cream and milk products. But if you could do butter or do ghee or lard, and then tallow would be your last option. As your main fats, those are the fats, not MCT oil and not coconut oil is great for the lauric acid. I have my mother take it every day because it helps her stuttering off the brain, the lauric acid, her because she had, she has a brain injury and all this kind of stuff. What's up, Dad? It's been pretty good today, Deborah. That's all good. I don't think we've had one troll. Can working out lower insulin? So working out, this is very interesting. So sometimes working out on some people who are so inflamed, sometimes working out drives their glucose high, which keeps their insulin not sensitive. So it's really good to go get a Precision Extra, an Abbott glucometer that measures ketones or glucose. So you could do Precision Extra or Freestyle, or if you're in another country like Sverige, Sweden, or another place, there are other, I think they have Freestyle in Sweden, actually. The Mojo is the second option. The ketones are a lot cheaper, but some people like to buy both. They'll buy a Precision Extra for the glucose and a Mojo for the ketones just because it's so much cheaper. And it's really, really important to track your blood sugar fasted and throughout the day, at least twice a month, to know what your blood sugar is 2 hours after every meal, to see if you got any sensitivities or try to figure out if you got hypoglycemia on keto, which is making it more difficult to adapt. Let me see. Deborah in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Auntie Val's like, yeah, she's here to save us from the trolls, but we have no trolls today. So thank goodness for that, or thank God for that. Give us a typical first meal of the day. So black dog tuffle. A typical first meal, unfortunately, is different for everyone. People have different sensitivities to different foods. So if I say eat this, it may not apply to the person sitting next to you at a movie theater on keto. So I can tell you the meats. To me, the best meat is red meat, especially organ meats, because the thing that I think helps people adapt more, and I keep hearing about other professionals lean towards that direction, is foods rich in carnitine, which are red meats. Carnitine, L-carnitine, is helping people. And I notice that people eat more red meat tend to make more ketones, balance the blood sugar more, but it has to be grass-fed. And that's the problem, because red meat is expensive. It's beef, red meat, my bad. But liver, I don't care if it's lamb or pork or chicken or cow. Liver is the deciding factor on people getting over a lot of their autoimmunity on keto. So the first meal of the day is a fatty meat. Men and women who are different sizes and activities, their protein allotment is not the standard 1 kilo per gram or 1 pound per gram. No, just forget all of that. And these people, when they're like, I don't think it really matters how much protein, like other carnivores, like the people are eating 2 pounds of meat because they're so hungry, because their fats are so low. Now, protein takes a lot to digest. You need enzymes and peptides and caloric acid to break it down. A lot of you guys are missing this digestive equipment. Plus, a lot of you guys have biliary systems with your and you have issues with oxalates and with purines. Eating that much protein tends to give people kidney pain on carnivore and keto. And it does spike your blood sugar a lot. And I know that because I've worked with thousands of people over the years, so no one can argue me that. It's a fact. And we can take even everybody, not everybody, most of them are using a glucometer to monitor their numbers. So no one can, I feel absolutely confident, like burning it on the eating too much protein does not get you out of ketosis. The problem is it's hard to get into ketosis. The problem is if your blood sugar is unstable and you're having symptoms of like ringing on the fingertips, hair loss, testosterone's dropping, your legs get skinny, your skin gets crepey, you have headaches, you're tired, you don't sleep well, you become constipated on keto or intermittent fasting or carnivore, then people won't tell you, they won't know what to tell you what to do. They won't know. But I can help you out. Let me see here. Also was wondering if you can eat unlimited leafy greens. No, first of all, unlimited leafy greens, they have lectins in them. And no. Now, you need a certain amount potentially for potassium, but if you've got a green in your poop, then no. And you can't eat unlimited greens. I would advise, I'm actually, because of the carnivore movement, I'm even suggesting that people eat less vegetables than once thought in the past. Have like 9 cups a day is what people have suggested. Even I suggested 9 cups before on a ketogenic protocol on cruciferous vegetables. But then people who are eating cruciferous vegetables were finding their freaking food in their crap. And I was like, all right, let's cut back on this. Let's get enough for the prebiotic fiber and the potassium, and we call it a day, okay? We don't need to do more than that. Also, I was wondering if you can eat, I already read that, darn. I've seen a guy today claim that he eats 1 meal a day, but he looks like he is dying. Thank you. He's dying already. Can you see the veins on his scalp? His skin looks bad. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this real quick. Are avocados an exception to do this? No, animal fat. We're not made out of an avocado, okay? We're made out of animal fat. So we're acceptable with animal fat. You see people asking about, the latex allergy with avocados, but I want to talk about this 1 meal a day stuff. And then I gotta go. Bye. No, I'm kidding. Veggies still counts as food too. If you want to die, of some kind of disease and bacteria infection, eating 1 meal a day. There was a guy today eating 1 meal a day. He looked horrible. His skin looked rashy. So whatever meal he's eating is making his skin react. No, you don't have to carb up you do not have to carb up while being pregnant on keto, but you must do the right protocol of keto or you will hurt yourself as a pregnant woman. So there's no point to carb up. It's better if you're so worried about doing the right protocol of keto or your existing health, then just do low carb, high fat. So I'm putting together, you guys, a low carb, high fat transitional whole protocol for people who are having difficulties adapting because they're hypoglycemic or their hair keeps falling out, or like this person, can I be pregnant and da-da-da. then it's better to not do keto if you're worried and do low carb, high fat. So you'll be seeing all of that stuff on my website. I'm creating a whole low carb, high fat meal plans and all this stuff. By the way, you guys, I do consultations. I really suggest it for people who need help. And I've worked with every type of person, specifically with low carb, high fat, and most definitely keto and keto carnivore, and people who do time restricted feeding while fully adapted. Okay? Oh yeah, the 1 meal a day. So the guy today, he was doing like 1 meal a day, and he starts talking, and he's like, 1 meal a day is really good for you. And I was like, well, and he's like, fasting's really great, right? And I was like, well, and then he started talking about taking cold showers to access brown fat. And I was like, well, and he goes, he's like, eating 1 meal a day is really, really good for you. And I was like, well, how is that? He's like, well, you know, I feel great. I was like, okay. So we were doing pull-ups. This is like a dude who's like 6'1", 6'2", he's probably 35 years old. This is a dude, like lumberjack looking dude with the beard and stuff. And I'm like he had no energy. None. And I was like killing him as a 51-year-old doing strict non-girly pull-ups, bruh. Douche, full extension bar over the chin, over the mother-sucking bar. And all the way down, not like half-cocked pull-ups. I had vigor, energy, and I was doing more rounds than him. And he was leaning over, breathing heavy. This is a guy who's the I eat healthy and I eat 1 meal a day fasting. And wouldn't listen. Crepey skin, bad skin, dark circles under his eyes, bags under his eyes. Really, 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 really unhealthy looking. And some people, I said, how do you know this is good for you? I can feel it, he said. I can feel that it's doing me well. I feel better. I feel that I have energy. I was like, dude, you look like you're about to fall over. So I just want to heed the warning. You guys, be careful on everything you see on the internet, including me. Be careful, because if it fits the narrative, the crap that you make up in your head, if it fits that, you're going to buy that and subscribe to it. If you go to someone's channel and they've got 2 million subscribers or 500,000 subscribers, you're like, well, they must be doing something right. They have a lot of subscribers. A lot of you guys aren't actually clocking and checking their content, because I could have easily, I started doing this way before anybody out there was doing it. It was Nora Gagaudis, it was Jimmy Moore, Steve Finney, Jeff Volek, and maybe a sprinkle of other people. Tim Noakes, that's it. There wasn't anyone else. So had I started putting on a bikini, putting my butt up in the camera, which looks fun, okay, meaning I can't squat, deadlift, none of that stuff, and still able to build my legs so well. If I had started promoting myself and being the ketogenic diet guru and getting on the intermittent fasting train, I would have so many subscribers if I told people to eat cheese and nuts, if I did a bunch of keto food, dirty keto, if I started doing all of these videos on cheese and nuts and the cakes and the cookies and the pies. And I started doing videos like that because I was dumb. I didn't know until people were getting sick on these foods. Not my foods, just in general. And I was like, whoa. So if I would have done all of that, especially with the intermittent fasting, and be like, yeah, see how I got these abs? See how I got these abs? That was through intermittent fasting. See how I got these like shoulder cuts, right? And a tricep? If I had done that, I would have a couple million followers by now. Oh, of course, better production value. We know that's a big problem with it too. But if I had done that, no. Stevia, no. Erythritol is sugar. It's a sugar alcohol. That's no. And that's another thing. People will make all these keto recipes. They'll have like thousands of views because they're using these sweeteners like Splenda and erythritol and xylitol and maltitol and all the tatols, which is just sugar, or monk fruit. They're catering to people's was it parameters of the, this closed thinking, and thinking like I did a post on my Facebook. So I have a keto course Facebook group. You sign up through my website, which is stephanieperson.com. I do consultations, and I have an Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. Most of all these platforms are free. All the information is free. So one of the other Facebooks I have, it's Stephanie the Business Person, or my personal one. I wish I could go off all social media, to be honest. But with that said, I said like, I asked a question about tongue, right? Because somebody made tongue in the course. And it was great. They did like 6 pictures on how to make beef tongue. And everyone, just because they hear tongue, they're like, oh my God, so disgusting. Oh my God, so not fabulous. Oh my God. And I was just like, you're pathetic. You guys are grown-ups. Like, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed when I hear people like that, especially grown people. So you have all these deficiencies, right? You have all this copper and zinc and selenium and riboflavin and omega-3s and conjugate linoleic acid and all this stuff you're deprived of. And you're sitting and you're eating your freaking dry chicken breast, which has nothing in it. And you have your body fat times a million, and you are thumbing your nose to the organ meats or nose to tail when you are sick as frack. I can't with it. I can't. I've been to Brazil. Now, I didn't go to the favelas, but I got close. Next time, I want to go to the favelas. But I've been to deep into Africa. I lived in an African village for two months. I've been to South America and Ecuador and Africa 4 times, and Asia a million times. You can see it on my old videos or on my Instagram. And when I see people in these poor conditions and don't have a lot of options of food, that you are sitting and complaining, I can't with it. Like, I can't with it. No wonder these people have a lot of other followers, because they are catering to your small, not you as in you guys, but to the people's small minds that feel that they're being deprived when we have so many choices of food, and we can just click our thumb on our computers and on our phone and order from US Wellness Meats and get grass-fed within 40 hours, right to our door. I can't with it. You go to Asia, you go to the Middle East, and you see like brain and tongue and heart and liver, and I'm like, I wish that I was raised on this food, because if I'm looking young in my 50s, can you imagine the vitality I would have had I been exposed to the right foods and the lack of toxins, and if I was breastfed? Love you, mama, but you didn't breastfeed me. The diet that they were eating in Africa is a continent, so the country I was in was Tanzania, or they call it Tanzania. And I was in a small village way away from Dar es Salaam, which is the capital city. And they were eating chicken and rice every day. That's it. Chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice. And they would take the chicken, and they would eat the bones and everything, so at least we would get the marrow. And they would eat the whole chicken, but they would take chicken and they would boil it in canola oil or corn oil. And then they would sit and spice the oil and eat the oil too. And I was like, even then I knew that that wasn't good to be eating like corn oil, boiled corn oil in chicken, like a broth made out of corn oil. Chicken and rice. I can't remember anything else, to be honest. Chicken and rice. No, I'm trying to remember now. This is in my 20s. I'm in my 50s. Yeah, I got over there to the, it's gonna get glitchy when I do this, but, so, as I'm talking about Africa, I've been a couple of times, so you can see some of these African pictures. So like there you see, I was on a safari. There you see the Maasai. There you see me skateboarding. This is another trip to Egypt. Yeah, but you see some of those pictures from Africa, especially this one and this one. You guys don't know this, but I worked at, oh, this one's up here too. I worked as a photographer for a lot of years. There's me skating at the end. So I'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. to my shoebox. All right. Okay, I've been doing this stuff for an hour. So, you love the close-up, man. Yeah, if you look at, I've got old pictures where I was obsessed. Y'all, I used to photograph. And I used to develop all my pictures, all of them. But as you can see, oops, this is a Greek lady I took a picture of, but I used to be heavily into portrait. Oh, we have some here. Portrait photography, up close portrait. But if I get to like the African experience, you know, this is what I was talking about, like what they ate. So here's these were the only kids that allowed me to photograph them. Are these kids? So I went crazy. You know, you've got like 36 pictures in a roll of film. But yeah. Lots of traveling. I've been very, very lucky to have traveled as much as I have. And will continue to. I'm not even done. I just got started, people. And so, yeah, I've been just very interested on understanding the diets, the lifestyle, the stress from people all around the world. And, you know, I'm going to Africa and there's nothing to eat. They've got like little biscuits and packages, some, you know, junk food. They've got these little stands in the villages where you can buy water, bottled water, toilet paper, but almost nobody uses toilet paper. They like eat with one hand and wipe with the other. I was like, I can't. I mean, I could if I had to, but they had toilet paper, so I bought the toilet paper. World Book Tour. I know, I love the Africa. I might just go ahead and put these, once I become like the keto queen of the world, get on more TV shows, then I might actually put out, because I'm writing a keto book, you guys. It was supposed to be out a while ago, but it's been extended because I'm including things like the carnivore diet and everything that I've learned about people having oxalobacter, oxalate issues, and also histamine and DAO issues, and any type of other issues like dry eyes, which is a big, huge problem with vitamin A deficiency. And so now I'm including all the stuff that I didn't include before. And what was that? It's the same in Saudi Arabia. Oh yeah, chicken and rice. Maybe you get a little bit of salad. I know in Asia it's very easy to get cruciferous vegetables. I was like in freaking the jungles of Cambodia, and they have little shops, and you've got like broccoli and some greens. So that was very, very easy to get those, and eggs, and eat like an egg salad. In Cambodia, I was able to do that. Sometimes I eat tuna. I don't eat street food. That's probably why I did eat street. I got sick in Africa, that's for sure. I definitely got sick. I actually ended my trip early, but this is when I was so young. Now when I travel, like when I went to Egypt, I was paranoid. Every time I travel somewhere, I'm like, I am not gonna get sick. I'm not eating street food. Eating with one hand and wiping with the other. Yeah, that's what they do. It's true. Asia. You love Southeast Asia. I love traveling. I just do. And in fact, I'm getting more into that now. I'm sort of in that state of mind right now where I have to get grounded again and deconstruct myself from the modern world and from social media. Obviously, even though I don't have I do have a great camera though. Even though I'm not having great productions and I'm not selling a lot of stuff and I don't have any affiliate programs, I don't monetize my videos. Even though, so much I enjoy your travel stories. Oh, you enjoy my travel stories, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot. I used to do stuff story time and start talking about, you know, sometimes I'll lose people on the replay around this time when I stop talking about keto, but understanding people's diets all around the world and understanding like what's happening to people, obviously right now in South Africa and a lot of, I forgot, in Africa they also eat a lot of maize, so cornmeal. So they'll make flatbread and other types of things out of corn, and of course it's genetically modified corn that has glyphosate and pesticides all over it. So these people in these countries are now getting really, really, really sick. There's still that sort of thought in Africa that if you're fat, that you eat well. So if you see a fat man or a fat woman, it's always seen as more of a level of prestige, which is the irony here in, especially in the US, people are obsessed with being thin. And that's why the intermittent fasting thing has become so popularized, is people don't actually try to key into what their existing health is, what their A1C is, what their insulin is, if they have any autoimmunity, any gut issues, any inflammation before doing a restrictive diet, because it could be the drop that makes your hormones get even worse, become even more dysregulated. Like your sex hormones is a big thing, and I wish that people would talk more about low carb, high fat diets or ketogenic diets or carnivore or intermittent fasting when it comes to your thyroid, your adrenal, and your sex hormones, because that is the chronic and consummate and constant problem I see people getting sick doing all these diets of depravity, or eating mono foods, because people see all of these foods that you can make that they never ate, or, oh, I never drink coffee, but they told me that I should drink butter coffee and intermittent fast, and then people have histamine issue to butter, and then they have issues with the coffee, and they never did that either before, and they're starting to feel sick, but all these professionals are saying this is the way to reach autophagy. So people don't contextualize their their belief system, because none of this, they can't measure autophagy, so we just throw that out the window. It's all a guess. If you're intermittent fasting, you go down on a scale, are you actually healthy? What's going on within the physiology of your body? And people need to figure that out. What is going on with your blood sugar? What is going on with your sex hormones? What is going on with your adrenal health? What is going on between women and men doing all of these diets? And mostly men are pushing the line on fasting. It's mostly men. And women have 2 days in one, and when they fast, they have a lot of issues because of that. I dropped 2 pictures here on the floor. I used to like really like dark, harsh grayscale on my photos in the past. Let me see. Hey, from Tampa. So yes or no? No to intermittent fasting. And that's all it is. People, I've been calling intermittent fasting for the last 4 years. I've been calling it the new anorexia. It's a body dysmorphia that people enter. People did the HCG diet before and got really sick on it. People did Atkins now, and then people did keto, and then keto's dying because it exploded in like a 1.5-year time frame too fast. And it's such a great therapeutic protocol for people who've got so many health issues. Like I've literally watched people get healthier and better on keto when it's done correctly. Thank you, Rebecca Knight. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Rebecca. You guys are donating today. Thank you. We that eat a lot of sour gum. I didn't notice that. I did notice these little stands, right? And there was like candy and little cookies and packaged. Maybe there was sour gum then. I don't know. But this is 20 years ago. Water fasting? No. And you're a woman, child, no fasting, honey. I try to explain this to the guy today. I'm like, if you are going to fast, you must rest. That's what we would do in nature. We wouldn't go like hiking and going and doing fasted cardio and then not eating half the day and going to work and paying bills and taking kids to soccer practice or working out late at the gym, and then you're fasting and you're like, autophagy, look, I'm detoxing, look how fabulous I am, and then all of a sudden you're like, why is my skin getting crepey? Why am I developing a turkey gobbler? Like, why does my body fat go up? Why are my legs getting skinny? And those are not the sexy parts of doing these extreme diets. When you're a woman, a lot of women unfortunately don't know when to turn this off. So that's the first sign of the hair falling out of their head. Yep, thyroid. Yep, their T3 drops. Seen it over and over and over and over and over and over again, and these men aren't talking about it. They'll summarize. They'll say, well, if you have problems, if you have problems intermittent fasting, then like do time restricted feeding. If you got problems with fasting, then then maybe eat breakfast. Like, they don't really go into what those problems are, and that's why I'm here. Bye, guys. So I'm just looking at the comments. Asia, oh, you want the business. But Jana, you can get the business. Just takes a lot of work. World tour. Love, love, love Africa. My favorite place in the whole world so far. Rebecca Knight says. Yeah, Africa is a trip. You get everything because it's a continent, right? So when I went to South Africa twice in a year. And then now I'm like, third time I'm like, nah. Been there twice. Each time I was there for a month. Yeah. Love it. It's great because there's so much landscape in South Africa and there's so many things you can do. Africa's a trip. That's a trip. Good experience. I went by myself. Totally not safe. But yeah, let me see. Hi Stephanie, I hit weight loss, small stall. More than a month ago, staying under 20 grams of total carbs. Not sure if cheese or nuts or almonds or macadamia. Both are stalling my weight loss. Erica, you are the perfect example of child, I want to proverbially slap you. Stop eating those foods and stop doing this for weight loss. You need to fix your health. Nuts are baby seeds. They don't want to be eaten. They're like the highest with freaking phytic acid in it. People soak the nuts for what, 2 days and still can't get out all of the phytates. Why are you eating cheese? You're not eating A2 grass-fed cheese. Raw? And that's barely permitted. You're eating freaking normal cheese from the supermarket. Weight loss. Did you lose muscle? We don't know. Was that water? I'm not yelling at you, hon. It's just everybody's on this. Like, why am I losing weight? And this is a basic thing. Why am I stalling? Because you weren't in ketosis. But I lost weight. No, you lost water because you dropped your carbohydrates. And carbohydrates, what is it? 1 gram of a carb that you eat can make you hold up to 4 grams of water. Now, normally it's around 1.8 or 2.8 grams of water that your body holds on to because it's a carbohydrate. You swell up with water, which is the reason why you don't lose electrolytes because you're just swollen with a bunch of water. And that makes you retain your electrolytes. So when you drop your carbs, so goes the water and those electrolytes. So you've really got to be on those electrolytes so you don't feel like crap, especially if you've done it 11 years like I have, or over 11. Okay, I love pork belly. Okay, for years of the best and most honest free information on keto and health in general, it's the least I can do. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. I do. I'm in this dogmatic thinking, I wish people would just wake up and I wish that people would be more kind to each other so people wouldn't have the obsession of weight loss, but have the obsession to be grounded and to be healthy and to be alive. And then when you are healthy and alive and grounded and eat well and live well and sleep well, be communal, you will drop the fat, but not until then. You could be dropping muscle. We don't want to do that. And sleep well. No one sleeps well anymore. Oh, that's right. I was going to do Instagram. Shoot, I better go. Let me see. I feel like I've failed. I've been fasting my whole keto journey. See, Tiana, did you get what you wanted? And most people don't. Oh, I lost some weight. I fasted. It's just like the HCG diet. I did it and then I did it again. It stops working because you're more and more damaging your energy system and your fat system, to make it short and simple. Okay, guys, I better go. It's been over an hour. I just remembered I was going to do Instagram Live really quick. If you want to watch that, you can go to Stephanie Ketogenic. I do great information on my stories every day there. Yeah. You can also see me skateboard. You can also see my travels. And you can also see me do handstand push-ups without a wall, because that's what you need to do in your 50s. Just do that. Let me see. So basically, you're supposed to eat fatty organ meats and vegetables only. No, you're supposed to eat fat. Fat mostly. Fat. 80% fat. 15% protein and 5% carbohydrate coming from plant source foods and not processed foods. Cruciferous vegetables primarily if you don't have a thyroid, and cooked slightly. Well, I'm drinking water. You guys know I don't drink anything else but water. It's just water. That's it. I don't drink anything else. I used to drink everything before, but now I'm just like, just drink water. Okay, guys, and sometimes I'll put salt in it on a hot day or when I'm exercising or if I go skate, which I need to skate soon. If I go to skate park, you sweat like crazy. So put a little salt in there and I'm good to go. Don't forget where's my magnesium? Last stream I was like, oh, use your magnesium. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining this stream. And hopefully it was clear. Don't complain if it wasn't because girls putting out good information. Have a great, wonderful life. Let's learn this stuff together. Let's deconstruct and reconstruct new stuff. And if you guys want a consultation, go to stephanieperson.com. If you want to join the keto course, it's only $15 a month. You can try it for 1 month and realize how freaking powerful it is, or many. It's up to you through at stephanieperson.com. Or just go to my Instagram or to my Facebook as Stephanie the Business Person. And you know what? I'm out because I got some energy. Yes, 11 years on keto, getting stronger every day. Not lost any gains, younger, fresh in the mind, and definitely, even though I just was braggadocious, I'm more humbled than ever before, and I'm so grateful that I found this lifestyle and the ability to communicate with all of you, even though I hate social media. And I'm out. Thanks, guys. Bye. Don't forget to like up the stream, even on the replay, peoples. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, hit the X in the corner, Steph. Just hit the X.